Hey guys, Mr. B here. So, did you know that you should never call your own point in sparring? Or that it's considered super disrespectful when you're hitting after the break? All right, well, these two things are nothing because by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you 3 things that you should never do in competition or when you're sparring, and 3 things that you should absolutely do every time to demonstrate that you know what you're doing. All right, guys, I'm Mr. B with Montezuma Martial Arts, and let's get into it. So the first thing that we should never do, we should never be caught calling our own point, okay? Maybe you've been to a couple of competitions, you've seen a couple of guys like this, all right? They're out there, they've got the action going on, and then all of a sudden, boom, oh, okay, and they just put their hand up, trying to get the referees, trying to persuade them to call the point in their way. All right, number 1, this is super disrespectful for your opponent. This is super disrespectful to your referees, all right? Number 1, always let your referees do their job, okay? That's what they're there for, all right? Number 2, okay, it shows that you have good sportsmanship when you wait for the referees to make their call. Whether it's a point call or a penalty call, maybe they're giving you a warning about contact, all right? You don't want to be that guy who's always just like, boom, oh, okay, boom, oh, running around, making a fool of yourself, all right? Like, are you gonna do the same thing when you make a mistake, right? Exactly, you're not, okay? Now, these things happen, all right? It's happened to me too. I have also been caught up in the moment, okay, especially in the semifinals or the final rounds, or what we call our medal rounds. When I know I'm gonna place, I have been caught up in the moment. Bam, oh, look at me, look at how good I am, all right? Okay, yeah, it happens to us, all right? So you make the mistake, oh, look at how good I am, okay? Number 1, acknowledge your mistake. Number 2, make sure you apologize to your refs, let them know that you acknowledge it and it's not gonna happen again. Number 3, maintain your composure. And like I said, if you're maintaining your composure in the round, you're probably already having a better round than the other guy. All right, so mistake number 2, this is super, super common, hitting after the break, okay? When we're in competition or when we're just working our sparring in class, we almost always have somebody keeping an eye on the fight, and they're almost always calling us to break so that they can slow down the action and call their point. Hitting after the break shows that you're pretty well caught up in the moment, or that you're intentionally not listening to those referees, either because you've got a problem with the competitor on the other side and you're trying to show them something or teach them a lesson, or, okay, for the most part, it's that we just didn't hear the call. 9 times out of 10, it's that. I haven't been to very many competitions where there's so much beef, all right, that I decide that I gotta keep hitting this guy after the break. Most of the time, it's a really innocent break. We don't hear the call, okay? But that is the type of thing that demonstrates your lack of professionalism. Look, as a fighter at competition, okay, there's a lot of things going on. I've got my fighter in front of me who's usually hitting me, okay? I'm trying to work on my point strategy. I'm trying to kick and punch this guy, get ahead, okay? There's also the ambient tournament noise, and if you've ever been to a karate tournament, man, they are loud, loud, loud. So we're in there, we've got our action, boom, okay, this, that. All of a sudden, you hit the ref, break, 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 and you're still going, boom, they gotta pull you apart, all right? Refs hate that business, okay? It just shows to them that maybe you're not ring aware, okay? Now, again, this has happened to everybody, okay? I don't care who you are or how good you are, you have made the mistake of hitting after the break. We all get caught up at the moment. Sometimes we just don't hear that referee, all right? Okay, things happen. Now, what do you do when you make that mistake? Acknowledge your mistake. Again, like last time, referees love it when their athletes are accountable and recognize their mistake. Apologize to your ref, apologize to the competitor, all right? He deserves your respect as well, okay? So make sure you apologize to your party, let them know you're gonna do your best to try, not do it again, and hold yourself to that standard. And when you're out there in the action, looking, boom, okay, and you hear that break, report to that line every single time. All right, now finally, one of the biggest mistakes that everybody makes is talking back to the referee after a call has been made. So you're sitting here, you're fighting, boom, 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 the ref calls break. You report to your line, point goes the other way. And you're sitting there, ref, but what about my point? I was totally first. Okay, you're talking back to the ref. You're getting them on the side of your opponent. All right? Referees hate it when you try to do their job for them. Going back to the first mistake that we made, calling our own points. They also don't like it when you're trying to persuade their call. Okay, so if I'm out here, boom, 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 okay, maybe I call my own point first and then it goes the other way and I'm just like, ref, come on now, man. What are you doing? You're getting in their face. You're looking like an unprofessional, unserious athlete. Look, we all get bad calls. It's the human error of martial arts tournament, any sports for that matter, that we don't always agree with what the ref calls. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, as a referee, as a fighter, as somebody who's been on both sides, okay, shut up and get back to work. All right? So you're here, you're fighting, boom, okay, oh, point goes the other way. You know what? Get it back. Okay, you're an athlete, you're good at what you do, start showing up. All right, so yeah, so if you make this mistake, like I said, talking back to the ref, or even worse, talking poorly about the calling after the fight is over. You're a competitor, first and foremost. Secondly, you're a black belt or a martial artist if you're not quite a black belt yet, okay? And you should be demonstrating the principles of modesty and courtesy. And yeah, look, we all get excited, we're all in the heat of the moment, we all want to win. And yeah, sometimes the calls don't go our way, sometimes it's just not our day. What you have to do is you have to remember that a karate man is always a gentleman first, okay? And so you want to mind your manners. Remember that your referees are almost always volunteers. They're not getting paid to be there, okay? So show them a little bit of respect, show them a little bit of grace, okay? And understand that maybe it just wasn't your day, all right? So yeah, I have also had my fair share of getting in confrontations with the refs, okay? Again, go back to what we talked about in our first two mistakes. Acknowledge your mistake. Take it back, apologize, try hard to acknowledge and move forward, and the next time you see that same ref, boom, report to your line. Do what you're supposed to. Be a good and professional athlete, all right? That is gonna help sway the judges in your favor the next time you see them, okay? So that's what I want you guys to think about. No calling, okay? No hitting after the break, and no getting in trouble, like no talking back to your refs. All right, guys, so we've talked about those three things that we absolutely should not do. Let's go ahead and get into the three things that we should be doing every single time. Now, before we do that, I need you to go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. All right, let's go ahead and get going on the things that we should do. Number one, report to your line every single time. You hear that break, boom, be ready to go. Okay. Number two, always make sure that your equipment is in good repair and looks sharp. Okay, don't show up with ratty gear falling all over the place, okay? Make sure that you've got some good solid equipment. Number one, it shows respect for yourself, that you care enough to make sure that your equipment looks nice, and respect for your opponent because you care about their safety. The safest place in the entire tournament, or if you're practicing at the karate studio, is in the ring with you because you care. All right? And then finally, number three, the last thing that you should be absolutely doing is taking the time to thank the referees and the scorekeepers for their time. Once again, these are people that are here entirely almost on a volunteer basis, and it just shows absolute great sportsmanship when you turn to your referees, thank you for your time. When you walk over to the scorekeepers table, thank you for your time. Okay, these people are volunteers. They are here to help lift our community up, and we want to make sure that we show them some appreciation. So if you're doing those three things every single tournament, your capital is just going up in the eyes of the referees and the promoters, and you're also doing a really great job at promoting the overall ethos of what it means to be a black belt. And then finally, if you're interested more in what we're doing, okay, our next video here, Mastering Our Martial Arts Blocks, is clicked in the next link. Make sure you're watching that next video. And if you're really interested in what we have to offer, MrBMartialArts.com. We have a ton of coaching programs for those of you that are interested in elevating your game. I don't care where you train. We can do this anywhere. All right, guys, until next time, train hard, fight fast, score first. Asa.